only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. And it's Friday.
Finally.
The weekend is here, guys. The weekend is here.
I'm so excited.
Long awaited. There are many people who are excited about what this weekend holds.
I'm excited for the sleep.
Yep. The sleep?
What?
That's what you're looking forward to? Okay. I'll let it slide.
So the one thing I want is some sleep. I love a good nap, so sleep
Jade.
is my fuels me.
Jade, I feel like you're gonna have many things to do this weekend that don't include sleep. They might have a little sleep at the tail end.
You can have a lot of sleep, man.
You think so?
What?
Okay. We'll see.
I know so. Oh,
Monday morning are coming into the check. And yes, guys, of those of you who are looking at the live stream. Well, first, let me just introduce ourselves. I'm your fave, Azem. And of course, next to me, right here, looking lovely. I do notice the new hairstyle today. So nobody got to tell me, oh, he's a real man. Next to me is my co-host and producer, Jade Gwen, Idita, CPL, Matthew, Stuart, Gooders, Johnson. So, but,
Thanks.
but guys, yes, we have an amazing show. I'm going to put it out there now. I'm going to have to dip out a bit early, but of course, Jade has you guys, and we have some actually very interesting guests on the show today. I'm actually a bit saddened about the fact that I'm going to miss these two guests today.
Well, at least I have people to keep me company.
Yes, you will. And of course, the LNT family is always there.
They are.
Always there when you need them. But Jade, how are you doing? Is all is well?
Of course, all is well. It's Friday. Nothing could be bothering me today.
Nothing could keep you down?
No, I got some amazing news this morning that I can't share yet. But good things.
Okay. Well, I am happy for you and your good things. I'm doing well. A bit tired, but not too bad. Manageable.
That's nice.
Yeah, we could go manageable.
That's nice.
So no complaints whatsoever on that front.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's Friday, so that means we have to jump into some conversation with our good old friend over there in Antigua.
Of course.
Know what he wants to chat about today.
It's always good times with Observer Radio.
Of course.
We're doing good.
Well, I'm assuming it's a dress or whatever it is, a top. At least I
My
can only see
shirt?
the top, but it looks lovely. Oh, no, that's not a shirt.
It's a shirt.
Oh, well, it's a blouse. You call that a blouse, no?
Well, yes.
Watch I just stay out of woman business in a Darren. Whatever they say it is, that's what it is, brother.
Yes, indeed. Well, I think I'm a little better than, I know a thing or two, but yes, that's definitely a blouse. Good morning, Jade. You look lovely, radiant.
Thank
Azam,
you.
You look gangster-ish.
Thank you.
You have gangster look today.
Well,
With your
what's
turn
happening?
back?
This is actually my comfortable look. I have to make a small trip across the waters today, so I'm in my comfort zone, polos and slacks.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm actually wearing my Crocs today.
You're going to quack for job? Me am. But friend
Hey.
is stylish.
The best shoe in the world.
Trust
I
me.
love my Crocs. Huh?
Yeah.
Best shoe in the world. They're simple. They can. Some people say they're ugly, but I don't care about that. They're comfortable, versatile, and I don't have to worry about if they get wet. They get wet. Big deal. You
Bro,
know?
going through airport security, there's nothing better than Crocs. I'm just putting it out there.
That is true. Fantastic footwear. So how are things in St. Kitts? By the way, before first of all, we can start with how are things in St. Kitts so that our listeners can get a sense of, how the lay of the land over there, especially with the campaign, I imagine, that's underway. And then, of course, we can, talk about what's happening here, and then the Queen's Jubilee. I don't know if that's a thing over in St. Kitts, but we can talk a little about that.
I
If you
saw
don't
something
mind.
about that.
It's a thing.
Okay.
I don't seem to be as excited as others were, but
Not at all. You
I mean,
clearly annoyed.
do you hear the excitement in my voice?
Yeah,
Yes.
no excitement there. By the way, normally at this time, do you have a call-in?
We have call-ins throughout the show, except
have
when we
call-ins
have
throughout
a
the show?
guest that we have to interview sometimes. But yeah, people call and chat all the time.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we can do a call-in today. You don't want to invite your listeners to call in so we can hear from folks in St. Kitts?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they won't mind. They always have lots to chat about.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to hear what's going on in St. Kitts. And is there a music festival as well going on or about to go on?
Yes.
At the end of the month.
We are winding down.
Yeah, at the end of the month, the St. Kitts Music Festival returns in a big way.
Yes, let me pull up the lineup for you
Jade,
all over there.
Jade, let me tell the people of Antigua, there's no way we are going to be able to read out the lineup because, of course, time is limited. That's how much acts.
Oh, come on.
That's
We
how
have
much
time.
acts. On this bit.
Oh, you think it's a joke?
You think it's a joke? Okay. All right then. Well, go ahead and use up all the time with the acts.
Okay,
Jade.
you want me to run to them quickly for your viewers?
Maybe we
Let's
could
go through
Yeah,
the
go
main acts. The ones that
Everybody's
perhaps,
main. We have all main acts.
No. But okay, go ahead.
Okay, so on
all what?
Yes, we have all main acts.
I don't know about that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
On Thursday, we have Bunji Garlin and Fayan, Destra, Nadia Batson, Lyrical Voice, Massacre, Ruckus HE, Grandmaster, Smarlax, and New Vibes. That is Thursday. On Friday, we have Ashanti, Wale, Sean Paul, Maxi Priest, Anthony B, Shanil Murr, iMac, Highlight, and De Jour. And on Saturday, we have Beres Hammond, Keisha Cole, Rotimi, Jada Kingdom, Christopher Martin, Byron Messiah, Vinyl Powell, and Popcorn.
Yeah.
Dear.
You know
How
what he's
do you
studying
guys
now.
do it?
Oh, you can reach
That's a
tickets?
lot of.
He's studying what he
That's
can
a
tell his
lot
wife
of-
now, you know.
Don't come tickets.
He'll come say this.
Yeah, well, you know, she's been hearing me talk about coming to St. Kitts for some time, you know. So if I say I'm coming, she wouldn't be shocked.
Music
But she
festival is
might
a good
say she
excuse.
packing-
Yeah.
She might, yeah, but you think she gonna say I'm going by myself?
Oh, that's the
with
yeah.
that, with them
Oh,
kind of
so he's
names
studying
there?
how much money he got to go spend now because he got to buy two tickets for an
Yes,
accommodation.
Indeed. Yeah, but the good thing is I have family, so I'm sure I don't
Oh.
have to worry about accommodation.
All right, nice.
It's just the ticket over.
I know, because
But yeah, it
regional
does sound
travel is
exciting.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I probably could go to Miami for what Leah will charge me
Exactly.
to go to St. Kitts,
Yep.
but there you are. Yeah, so the lineup sounds very exciting. So this starts when? Just
The
to give the dates again.
25th,
The
I
end of the
think.
month?
I think it's the 20th. No, sorry, the 23rd to the 25th.
Wow, fantastic! Sounds rather exciting. But yeah, would love to hear from your listeners what they are concerned about. I did see a Facebook post this morning, which sounded or looked very familiar to the Facebook post that we see here. I'm actually going to try and pull it up so I can share it with you, because it appears as though St. Kitts also has a water issue just like Antigua. Well, I don't know if it's
Well, we've
just
been
like,
telling you
but
this,
it's
Darren.
certainly. What's that?
We've been telling you that we have a water issue here.
Yes,
My water cuts
yes.
off at 10 p.m. sharp.
Who is the minister? Who is now the minister in charge of water? That's one question.
What's the
And,
day- what's
the
the day
other
of the week?
post is St. Kitts, the gem of the Caribbean. ... Exclamation point. Water off as usual at 9 p.m. So clearly there's an issue going on there with water. Tell us what the authorities have been saying about that.
Well, there actually was.
They told us the ration. Not told us the ration.
Okay, so there was a cabinet press briefing earlier this week. I think it might have been on Wednesday. And the new minister, whose responsibility it is for water, who is now the deputy prime minister, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, he did mention about the water situation, and he did say that we are getting to a place where St. Kitts is vast, outgrowing its water supply. Let's put it that way.
Interesting.
And he did make mention, though, which was something that I found very interesting, that there is plans in place to move towards adding desalination as a way to bolster our water supply. Personally, like, I remember growing up, this was something I didn't think was ever going to be possible. It's like, if it's one thing, I think it's got is water.
Well had.
But our aquifers seem to be running low.
And it's quite dry here currently.
Yeah, it's quite dry. So that is only one issue. I do believe that there is also in some areas an issue of infrastructure, meaning we've been hearing about the need to install pumps in some areas to get water up to certain places of the island. So that is something that seems to be ongoing for quite some time.
Ongoing indeed.
Yeah, so I don't know if we are quite at this stage where some of our Caribbean brothers and sisters are, but I do believe we would be foolhardy to believe that we are somehow exempt from those struggles. So that's kind of where we are right now with the water situation.
Yeah, we're definitely experiencing drought conditions. So what you're experiencing sounds very similar to what we're experiencing here in Antigua and Barbuda. And it is a vexing issue. Of course, it is a political issue. Or at least it certainly has been made into a political issue. I don't know to what extent it's a political issue in St. Kitts, but certainly the United Progressive Party, as I mentioned previously, It's a part of their campaign messaging. Their campaign slogan has, water in it. Water, freedom, and jobs is the other one. I can't remember. But yes. Yeah.
Freedom from what
water is a
exactly?
big issue.
Yes, freedom from what?
Um, that's a question. That's a very good question. If you ask my
I'm not even
friends
laughing.
from-
I'm serious. So
I am laughing because the fact that David can't tell us freedom from what.
Oh.
If
Well,
it's a
no,
campaign
I would-
slogan for a
well.
party, I'm pretty sure they would be on the platforms explaining why this is a part of their slogan.
they're of the view that the issue of mandatory vaccinations, or as some people call it, forced vaccinations, is an issue that's going to resonate with voters, and voters are going to decide. Some civil servants or public sector workers were sent home because they were not vaccinated. I guess they decided for whatever reason they didn't want to get vaccinated, whether it was fear, whether it was conscience, religion, whatever. And so they were sent home without pay. And the United Progressive Party fundamentally believes that that was wrong. They were not in support of the mandatory vaccination policy. And so they said, well, under them, you will have freedom of choice. So that is where
Will
that's
you?
my understanding of their explanation of
what the freedom.
why that freedom, freedom to choose whether you want to get vaccinated or not.
So they're
So-
saying if they were the ones handling the pandemic situation,
Right.
they would have done things differently.
In that respect, yes. In
Okay.
another respect, they also intimated that they would have also been more proactive in allowing the education process and the professionals responsible for, healthcare, the health professionals, to take the dominant or the leading role, and not the politicians or not the Minister of Health or not the Prime Minister. And so therefore it wouldn't be politicized, and so perhaps people would be more or have more faith in the process. That's my understanding of their thinking. And when the election comes, we will see if they will be proven right. If enough people are grieved at the mandatory vaccination policy that they're going to vote on that issue. But they also should be mindful of the fact that there are people who might vote on that issue, but not the way they would like, because folks figured we all did this in the interest of the national good. That's the thinking in some circles. We all did this in the interest of the national good. By the time the mandate came in, there were already a good portion of the population who were vaccinated and who wanted the others to get vaccinated because we want to get past this pandemic. And so therefore, it might be a double-edged sword for them. But time will tell. The United Progressive Party is full of some, very smart people. I had one of them on this morning, Damani Tabor. He's very good at going into the numbers, and so maybe the numbers are telling them that there are more people that are angry about it than there are people who are in support of it. So we'll see what happens.
Do you guys have a date for your
We'll see what
elections as yet?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
well,
Nope. The Prime Minister would have called it earlier. He did say that it's around the corner, and so the United Progressive Party read that tea leaf and decided to start their campaign early. But right now, I've said this publicly. I don't see the Prime Minister calling elections anytime soon. I think he's going to go down the stretch. And right now, he has an issue with St. Peter, which we spoke about last week with Assad Michael. So I don't see him calling the election now, to be honest. So I think he's going to go down the stretch. I see no reason for him to call it unless he wants to commit political suicide. Although he will say that he has polls that has him winning 12 seats, 12 or 13 seats. I believe that's a poll done by our good friend, Mr. Wickham. That's what the school children say. Peter will never admit to me that he did the poll, but yes, because I guess he has a non-disclosure agreement. But yeah, that's what the poll said whenever they did the poll a month ago, 2 months ago. But the reading on the ground may be that there may be shifts continuing, because the e-books, there's an e-book issue, which is, people are saying, government has wasted taxpayer money. There is the water issue, which continues. There are just a number of issues. And I think the longer this goes on, and that's the fear I think the Prime Minister might have, is that the longer this goes on, is the more crap that's going to come out that the UPP is going to use as a baton to hit him over the head with. The most recent one, I just heard, there was a conversation about a $200 million bond US that was oversubscribed. The nation was told it was oversubscribed. And quite rightly, the UPP spokesman said this morning that when you suggest that something is oversubscribed, you get the impression that there were a lot of investors who wanted to be part and parcel of this investment opportunity.
Right.
Only it turns out, by the Prime Minister's admission in the questions to ministers in Parliament, and he played the clip, the Prime Minister said the entity that subscribed to the bond issue pulled out. So there is no bond. There is no money coming. 200 million US dollars worth, 540, I believe, EC dollars. So, or 530, depending on which rate you use or how you calculate it. But yeah, that is something that the UPP pointed out. And the question will be asked, well, if it wasn't already a bird in the hand, why did you even mention it? So those are some of the issues that are at play here in Antigua. And yeah, so what about you guys? You guys are closer to it. Let me put it this way.
How are you so
Grenada's
sure?
definitely going. Yeah, because you have to call election. You have to have the election within 3 months of the dissolution of Parliament. That's not how it goes.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
No. I do believe that is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
As it stands now, it does seem like we are going to be closer to that, extreme than probably closer to present times, in my opinion. But we're gonna have to wait and see. There's one guy who has the bell in his back pocket, and he will ring it when he chooses to do so.
Yes.
Outside of that, though,
It's been chaotic.
it's been chaotic, Jed. Yes, it has been. But
What are the issues? What are the issues? Why you say it's been chaotic?
Because there's been leaks upon leaks upon leaks upon leaks. Like I kid you not. For this week alone, we've had leaks every day with documents.
About what?
Different documents, different things. Like I think the last one was alleged document from. So what happened was last week Friday, or Friday before.
I don't know which one you're going to.
I'm talking about the UDC thing.
Oh, Friday before?
You sure?
This Friday gone. Yeah, Friday. Yeah,
no,
Friday.
last Friday. There was a press conference by the Honorable Wendy Phipps, and she stated that the SCASPA and UDC, which were now placed under her jurisdiction, she saw some discrepancies, and so some people were removed and replaced and reshuffled. And so one of those people were the head of the UDC, the chairman. And so he was replaced. Well, they were attempting to replace him with someone, and that someone decided no. He said, this is his words exactly, well, allegedly, because we can't say that it did come from him. But if it did, this is what he said. Let me just find that document really quickly. Here we are.
Sure,
It
no
says...
And for the benefit of our listeners, UDC is what?
UDC is the
Urban Development?
Yeah, urban development. They are mainly in charge of our Port Zante, right?
Gotcha. So
Yes.
it's sort of similar to our heritage. Well, yeah.
Exactly.
I got it.
Yeah.
Port, heritage key. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, so previously it fell under it fell under Sean's portfolio, and he was in charge of that. And because he was fired, it was reassigned to Honorable Wendy Phipps. And so they were attempting to then give the position to Mr. Calvin Esdale. And yesterday we saw a letter coming out from him, allegedly. And it says, "Dear Mrs. Phipps, when I was initially approached to serve the board of the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, I indicated that I would be willing, in the interest of the country, to assist in sorting out the financial problems that exist at the corporation. I previously served as the chairman of the board of UDC. Unfortunately, this proposed appointment has created some controversy and has become very toxic. I have therefore decided to take no further part in this matter. Please be reminded that I have received no instrument of appointment, and therefore I have never been appointed to this position. I would appreciate it if the general public is informed accordingly."
Basically, what's
Yeah.
happening is that there seem to be documents that somehow are making their way onto social media and into the public view. That let's say give us a peek behind the veil at some of the goings
Boy,
ons,
one heck of a
and
peak.
yeah, and it seems like every day it's something else. There was a document which speaks to an honorarium that was paid to members of our COVID-19 task force, and that raised some issues as well. It was addressed by the same Minister Wendy Phipps.
Listen, Wendy been busy, boy.
Yeah,
As soon as she got one appointment, and all of a sudden everything seems to be circling her.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of that lately. It seems as though we are squarely in the phase of the campaign called finger pointing. I think that's what they call it, and everybody's pointing fingers back and forth. So it has been one thing after the next, one thing after the next. I personally can't even keep up. I just want them to tell me what the plans is for the country, and let's move. But apparently, people like the melee for sale. So
Melee for sale.
Penty buyers.
Who you think is benefiting from this though, politically, or who the listeners believe? If you're gauging the reaction of your listeners, who they believe is going to benefit from these revelations and these leaks?
Well, I think I personally, and this is personal, I believe if you look at what's been happening over the past few months, I think you would have to say that the Labour Party is the one who is probably gaining the most from the present situation. I think that they had made an effort initially to not make too much of a thing about what was happening with the others, and then that seemingly kind of went through the window for a while.
I mean,
even though I believe in the meetings of late, there has been more of a focus on, hey, this is what we intend to do. This is what our plans are. And this is the team of people who we are putting forward, and their qualifications and such forth and so forth and so forth. Whereas it does seem as though the members of Team Unity who would have expressed their displeasure with the leadership of the Prime Minister, they are squarely on the anti-PM campaign, in my humble opinion. And then of course the PM is on the, hey, I'm working for the people, yeah. I'm working for the people. So that's kind of where we at.
Smart cook.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, these are smart. Except that now what's happening is that because he wasn't able to address their concerns, and they, or whatever effort he made to address their concerns was not satisfactory, everything has now come apart and is now fragmented. And my sense is that this is going to, as you just said, is going to benefit the Labour Party. I don't see how Pam is going to be able to squeak it through and win and certainly gain control of the government. I don't see PLP doing it either, because they don't have a full slate yet, do they?
Not as yet.
Anything changed since last week?
Not officially.
Not officially. There have been people going out and campaigning. We've been seeing the pictures, but they haven't had a actual.
They haven't had launches for the candidates.
Yeah.
The candidates haven't been officially announced and launched. It seems as though, and yes, I did say the PM in his public appearances. Yes, he has been squarely on doing the government's work, and that has been mostly what he's been speaking about. However, from a party perspective, and in terms of preparing for the upcoming election, I would say that PLP's approach is not so much public broadcast or anything of that sort. No, a lot of interviews and that type of thing, but it seems as though their strategy, at least for right now, is going directly to the people in the constituencies, canvassing. That seems to be their approach to prepare and get people ready for the upcoming election.
And how does that contrast with the Labour Party's approach? I think it's a Nevis Labour Party.
Well, all of the other parties have either announced big public meetings or have been keeping big public meetings. So the Labour Party has been doing that up as recently as last night. The People's Action Movement had and the CCM, and I think tonight is actually the launch of the NRP's campaign. Tonight is the launch of their campaign with a big public meeting as well. But the PLP seems to be pounding the pavement, so it's an interesting, difference in the strategies.
Okay. Just to go back very quickly to the issue of water, a question I meant to ask you when you mentioned that there's a conversation about, desalination. Does St. Kitts have any reverse osmosis or desalination installations anywhere on the island, on either island?
No, I don't think so. Unless there might have been a plant at Marriott. I'm not quite sure, but for public use, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So there's no. So you just rely purely on your aquifers.
Yes, natural springs and the underground water, pretty much.
All right. I see Jade looking at her phone intently. You have something to share with us, Jade?
No, not at this moment. I'm just going through to see what the people have to say.
Well, share with us what the people have to say. And they're going to call in? No calling?
Well, I don't know if we've hit any notes for them to call in as yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have
We
to
usually
send
have
out
to
a
say
note?
some triggering words for them to start calling.
Oh,
and
like
I don't
what?
think we've said any of those yet.
You said any of
But
those.
there was
what
something
do your
else that...
listeners think?
Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jade.
Oh, I was saying there was something else that I saw yesterday that you may be interested in now, as in may be interested in. It says fair share of CBI revenue determined by the premiers of Nevis. Yeah, and it says an equitable share of resources for the island of Nevis from the Citizenship by Investment CBI program remains a topic of debate in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris maintains that his Team Unity administration continues to disburse large sums of money into the coffers of the Nevis Island Administration, NIA, but Premier of Nevis, Honorable Mac Brantley, says Nevis deserves more from the CBI program due to the reported significant profit the program has been making. During a June 1st, 2022 press conference, Prime Minister Harris outlined the areas the federal government supports on Nevis. Dr. Harris said former Premier, the late Vance Amory, and current Premier Brantley wrote indicating to him that they deemed as equitable share of resources. Vance Amory wrote and requested $30 million as a fair and equitable distribution to the people of Nevis. I accepted, and every month we pay $2.5 million to accumulate to a total of $30 million, Dr. Harris said. He added, when Mark Brantley became Premier of Nevis, he too wrote requesting what he determined was a fair share for the people of Nevis. A 50% increase he requested, and I discussed with him. We agreed. It is not I who pulled the figures. In every letter that is there, the record would reflect that these are their requests that they determine. Prime Minister Harris said the federal government had approved the $45 million support to the island of Nevis in December 2021 federal budget, but Premier Brantley subsequently wrote requesting the amount to be increased to $66 million, which was approved by Dr. Harris, further indicating that in addition to the $66 million, the federal government covers a number of expenses incurred by the NIA, which include pharmaceuticals and medicine for the Alexandra Hospital and health centers on the island, economic costs for Nevis students studying abroad, and employees on the STEP program, among other areas. Premier Brantley continues to call for an equitable share of revenue received by the CBI to be shared with Nevis. During a March 2022 press conference, Premier Brantley revealed the figures for the CBI program, which amounts to more than $5 billion covering the period 2007 to 2021.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Who leaked that? We're talking about leaks. Who leaked that figure? Because one day he came and he said he didn't know, and the next day he knew it was $5 billion.
Well, I can't tell you that. I don't know, friend. Maybe these people did their research and they came up, they have
But
statisticians and
literally,
all
it
these
was
things.
one day we don't know what the figure is, and then all of a sudden they know the figure.
Well, records.
I want to know who the leak is.
Yeah, I want to know too. The question would be: are members of Unity leaking to make the PM look bad, or does the operatives or friends of the Labour Party, as in the St.
Well,
Kitts
you
Nevis
know what?
Labour
Well,
Party,
you know what? You know
trying
what?
to make?
I don't know.
You know what
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
find
Jade.
funny is that on one side they're saying that the Prime Minister is removed from the Team Unity coalition, but the PM still saying he's a part of Team Unity.
The PM says unity lives in the hearts of the people.
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know.
Unity lives in the hearts of the people, Jade.
It just resonated with me but in the article. I'm like, wait, but I thought they said I ain't a part of Team Unity no more.
How you could decide who is unity, Jade?
It resides in the heart. I wasn't the one who decided.
It resides in the heart of the people, Jade. Come on.
Oh, well, we finally have a call. See, Darren, I told you.
Okay. Good morning. Oh, don't. Say
Good morning, caller.
You
You're
can't hear
live
me.
with Island T and, of course, Observer Radio on the Caribbean Link Up. What's up?
Oh, we lost that one, but we have another.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Before anything else, Darren, it's been a while now we haven't heard an update on Leah. And it would be nice if, maybe in a future broadcast, if you can tell us if they're operating more efficiently, what plans they have, etc., because they've been pretty quiet. How is Leah doing? Now, with regards to the local situation, people are absolutely flabbergasted by the revelations coming out from the once Team Unity members, politicians. Okay? You can't hear anybody anywhere who is not expressing disgust at what is happening. And in my opinion, there seem to be a circular firing squad, discrediting and disqualifying each other for even seeking elected office, right? Of course, the opposition would be salivating at what is happening, okay? Because it seems as if they're the only adult in the room now. And so that the people have very little choice in terms of getting an alternative government. It can only be one, as we see it right now. It can only be the Labour Party, the SKNLP, because, like I said, the others have discredited. I mean, how can you have the people who got us into this mess be the ones who are going to take us out of it? Okay? And so I think that is where we are, I think, in general terms. Of course, there will always be the base who support their parties, their favorite parties and politicians, no matter what. But nobody can look at what's been going on and think that things are normal. This has never been. It has never been like this, and I'm sure the other Caribbean islands must be looking at us and saying and laughing. Because they themselves call themselves a dysfunctional government. The government calling itself dysfunctional. Could you imagine that? So I don't know what they're going to tell us when they come to campaign and ask us to vote for them again. But I think that is the state of play right now. Okay then. Good morning, guys.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you for your contribution.
Very, very insightful listener there. And listener, yes, I will do my best and see what I can find out in respect of the Liat situation. Because we here in Antigua, too, have questions about what's going on with Liat. But I understand there is some suggestion that there may very well be an investor in the wings. And so there are conversations that are being had. That's what I've been told from people within the Liat system. But no formal announcements have been made. And you know how it is coming up to an election. One has to be careful. Well, I would think by now that people in authority would know that they have to be careful with what they say, because the listeners are not going to forget, like, for example, the bond, the $200 million US bond. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's see. There was something else I wanted to ask. Oh, is it okay for me any more callers, by the way?
Not at this moment, no.
Not at this moment. Okay, I'm going to play this little clip. It's a clip from the Director of Communications at the Prime Minister's office. It's a proclamation the Queen's Platinum Jubilee 2022. So we're just going to listen to a little bit of it and talk a little monarchy reparations real quick, just for a few minutes before we wrap up and move on to our various activities for the rest of the day.
A proclamation. Today in our nation and throughout the Commonwealth, we are celebrating our glorious Queen's Platinum Jubilee, Elizabeth, the second of that name, our most beloved sovereign and head of the Commonwealth for 70 years. How apt that this should be the platinum anniversary of her accession. Platinum, that most noble of metals, more precious even than gold. And so it is in honor of this unique occasion that beacons will be lit this evening throughout the United Kingdom, the Channel Islands, the Isle of Man, and the UK overseas territories, and in all the capital cities of the Commonwealth. Let it be known, in proclaiming this tribute to Her Majesty the Queen on her Platinum Jubilee, that we are one nation and one Commonwealth. God save the Queen.
Right, it's 8:45 in Antigua and Barbuda. This was actually yesterday, where beacons were lit, and there was an activity, I believe, last evening here in Antigua and Barbuda, and as the director of communications there indicated, around the world within the Commonwealth, commemorating this Platinum Jubilee. What's happening? Has anything official happened in St. Kitts Nevis, or is there
There
a
was a
conversation
celebration
going on about the monarchy? Okay.
There was a celebration last evening
there
as
was a
well at Government House. Yeah, that saw dignitaries, prominent people within society, going out and.
Were you there?
Of course not.
Were
He
you
said
there,
prominent
Azam,
people in
Margaret?
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you tell me this man look like a gangster?
Yeah, that's not our ministry.
Not your ministry. Yeah.
But,
So how do people feel in St. Kitts? I mean, do they feel a sense of admiration for the Queen? Are they torn between admiration and at the same time revulsion, or perhaps reflection or contemplation about what lies ahead, whether we should remain members of the Commonwealth, or at least with the Queen as head of state, or should we become a republic like Barbados? Anything along that line in terms of your listeners or the people in St. Kitts Nevis?
I think that there's a lot of people. Okay, let me first start by saying I believe the feelings generally range somewhere between, like I said, revulsion and just literally just don't care, just don't care. And I believe that there has been talks, of course, and we've heard it even from some of the political leaders about the fact that we may have to have these discussions. Even on our show here, the leader of the Labour Party hinted that is something that we should have conversation about as a nation, about whether or not we want to move away from having the Queen be the head of state, and like you said, moving towards a republic. So that is definitely something that is, talked about, and I know I have some friends that are very adamant about the need to do that. I am one who, I'm all for that. I believe we have gotten to the point where we need to do that. I don't even see it as a discussion in my book. I think it's something that we need as a people. Especially people who I believe struggle with identity. I think these are the things that serve to help to bring about that sense of national pride, national identity, etc., etc. So hopefully that is where we're going. I am not necessarily too thrilled. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for the Queen and the fact that she is still with us and celebrating.
Jade,
I
you're being naughty.
no
No,
I know.
we're happy she's alive.
No, I don't subscribe to any of the horrible rumors about like eating babies and that.
No.
I don't think
that's
that.
a rumor?
Yeah, Jade. I don't believe that is true. I have
All right.
yeah. But no,
That's
really.
a new one for me.
But in terms of her role in our democracy, I think it's
needed.
outlived its usefulness.
Long time ago.
So
I don't think you'll find a lot of argument with that, and I'll just point out that yesterday, your humble host was contacted by a journalist at the BBC for my reflections on the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And I was actually in the middle of taking a quick exam, and they gave me a few minutes, and they just asked me to send them a voice note, and apparently it played on the BBC yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so at least I made that record of being on the BBC, specifically on a day like that. But just which is of course interesting as a host here in Little Antigua.
Congratulations,
Being
friend.
on that thing. But the fact, well, I don't know, it was interesting how they were able to find me, and they didn't think that they felt safe enough to give me the opportunity that I wouldn't say something naughty. But
Imagine
I
that.
think I struck the same tone that Azem just struck, meaning that many people here, there's a debate. There are people who have admiration for the Queen. They have admiration for the institutions. They have, many of us, I'm wearing my London T-shirt from my family this morning. Many of us have family in the United Kingdom, and so we have an affinity with, many things British. But at the same time, we are cognizant of our past. We have become more conscious, as is evidently, become more conscious, recognizing that in order for us to become more self-assured as a people, we do need to sever certain ties in order for us to go forward with a liberated mind. And so I did point out to them that there is a conversation about these issues and reparations. I brought up the word "our" word in that conversation. I actually thought they were going to edit it from what I said, but they didn't. They played it in its entirety, which I respect and appreciate.
Right.
But there's a conversation about reparations, and there's also the conversation of people who still have admiration for the monarchy. And I did say to them that I believe the side of the reparations / becoming a republic, that side might be in the ascendancy. Whether it's a 50-50 or a 60-40 or whatever, I don't know. But I think certainly as far as momentum goes, the momentum is on the side of liberating ourselves.
Is there a sense that there's is there a sense that there's the political will to go ahead and do what is necessary to do that there? Do you think that is something that the political class is ready to do?
Yeah. It's a conversation that's going to happen. The Prime Minister told the Queen's son, Prince Edward, he was here a few weeks ago, and he did the polite thing, acknowledge what the Prime Minister had to say. The unfortunate thing is that I'm fearful that if that comes up, let's say in a referendum, it is going to become politicized. And that is, you see the issue with the CCJ, it was, in my view, it was politicized. The UPP will say the Prime Minister politicized it, the Prime Minister will say the UPP politicized it. I am an equal opportunity offender. I think they both politicized it. And so once you do that, you're not going to get the 2/3 majority you need to get to over that hurdle. See, Mia didn't have that issue because she didn't have to go to a referendum. She just, she has Parliament essentially in her back pocket, since we're talking about pockets, and so she could essentially, push this through. Unfortunately, our constitution requires us to go to a referendum, and the unfortunate thing is that it is likely that it will become a political issue. I don't think it should. Perhaps the parties need to sit together and say, look, we're doing this, we're going to back each other, we're going to support each other, and maybe with that, we could cross that threshold. But
I feel like a lot of...
I don't know if I see that happening.
But a lot of the times, these issues could be solved if that exact stance is taken. I know we have to behave like we dislike each other's policies and all of these things. But when it comes to these things, decisions that will affect the whole country, both parties involved, I feel like they could raise a white flag, call a truce, sit down and push things through.
Yeah, I think the we missed an opportunity of going to the CCJ.
Yeah.
And that I think would have been a first start, but it became politicized, and you had members of the opposition, going contrary to the leader of their party and supporting remaining with the Privy Council, and I thought that was unfortunate for many reasons. Again, a part of the poisoning of the well or the politicization of the issue. But I think, we can't be talking about being independent and, casting off, shackles of slavery and freeing up our minds and what Bob Marley said, none but ourselves can free our minds and all that good stuff. Sounds good and we all believe it. But when the opportunity came for us to demonstrate by saying, look, we've sent our children to school. They've become qualified over the years. They've demonstrated tremendous academic prowess and skill. We should be able to adjudicate our own justice system at the highest level. But we decided not to. I think there was a majority vote in favor, but it wasn't the 2/3 that was required. And I think that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a first step. So we have to take it in baby steps. I don't know if you can do it in one fell swoop. We have to take it, bit by bit. But yeah, that to me was unfortunate. I would have been happy that we would have replaced the Privy Council, and that would have been a first step. Because I think our justice system, it's not perfect. I mean, we talk about a perfect justice system. There's no perfect justice system. Just look at the United States. They have a Supreme Court that is essentially that is politicized.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way that is far more politicized than the Caribbean Court of Justice could ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on now with the issue of guns, the issue of abortion. It's all political. Some would say Al Gore would have been president and not George Bush were it not a political court. So give me a break. So I don't know. It's unfortunate, but to me, we have to start there and then build from there. And I don't know if either party is going to have an appetite for having another referendum unless both of them come together and say, look, we need to put aside this nonsense, and that's going to require leadership, perhaps leadership that has not yet come to the fore, maybe. Or the existing leadership will have to really eat humble pie and say, look, we're going to do this in the interest of our future and future generations and our nation. So we'll see what happens.
You would think that
But
it would be
our
so
time is
easy
almost
for
up.
them.
It's minutes to 9. But go ahead, Jade.
I was saying, you would think it would be, I mean, if I am a politician and I am running on the platform of I care about the country, I want what's best for the country above anything else, you would think these type of decisions would be easy.
No, because everybody have a different idea about what's best for the country.
But they all agree that these things is what needs to happen.
I think that's the point. They don't.
Oh, well,
No, I think they do. Because, like I said, Harold Lovell, the leader of the UPP, was in support of the CC, first relinquishing our ties with the Privy Council and going to the CCJ. And that you had now a member of his party and candidate, who was a vocal advocate against. And I know if it was my party, that couldn't be. Sorry. This is the way we're going.
well, maybe that's why you don't have a party.
This is the way we're going, and you can't be. What's that?
Maybe
Exactly.
that's why you don't have a...
Jade, move to the head of the class. Exactly. Exactly. But this is the party's position. You can't have a personal position. Not in this situation. This is where national interest is at stake. The future direction of the justice system of the country. The final court, appellate court, as far as the original jurisdiction is concerned. And I'm the party leader. This is my position. As an attorney, mind you, he's an attorney at law. And you're going out there and saying something totally different? No. Sorry. Nope. There, I said it. I think that's the first time I've been this public about it. I'll probably get some licks, but that's okay. I gotta leave
a
it.
dictator? Mine.
Yeah, he's a dictator. That's what he is. He's a dictator.
yeah, we gotta go. And I know, I believe he agrees with me though. He wouldn't say it publicly, but I think he agrees with me. But of course, why would he agree with me? Have a good day and a good weekend, lady and gent. It
You
was
as
great
well.
chatting. Get our ducks in a row next week, and we won't have the cancellations and emergencies. Take care.
All right,
Bye.
take
You
care,
have a
love.
good day.
Guys, we had a great conversation with our friends in Antigua.
Of course,
Um,
usual.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to linking up with them again next week. But what we're going to do, Jay, we're going to take a short break and come right back.
Yes. I think it's break time.
Yes, we're going to take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Oh, before we go, I just want to personally, wish everybody a safe weekend and, a peaceful weekend. Guys, bear in mind, we at some points have had a way of, during these long weekends to see an uptick in things like traffic accidents and of the sort. I'm hoping everybody tries their best to remain safe on the roads this weekend. Act responsibly. And of course, we talked to the Big Tree and them yesterday, so hopefully
Talk to them again,
Well, Big Tree and behave yourself, please. And on Saturday night, I wouldn't be able to go back home if I didn't say this. On Saturday evening, tomorrow evening, at the Pentecostal Church of God.
Boy, I feel the only forget you here.
I couldn't, Jade. Pentecostal Church of God in Bastard, that's on Boone Avenue, right next to the village school. Dr. William Connor, another one. There's an amazing concert happening in the evening at 7 o'clock featuring the one and only Susan Best. She's going to be live and in color. They were rehearsing last night.
Oh, the sounding. Okay.
Flames. So it's a Fresh Fire concert, guys, tomorrow. Tickets are at $30. If you want to get your ticket beforehand, you can get it from any member of the church choir.
Except Azem, because he won't be here.
Or you could actually go down to the merch shop on 4th Street, that's upstairs, Farm Care, pick up tickets there. Or we're actually accepting payment at the door. So bring your friends out. Come listen to some good Christian music. Lots of local acts as well.
Ooh,
gonna be on the show. So yeah, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Boone Avenue. Come through, come hang out. All right, but guys, we're gonna take a short break.
Please to tell them you won't be back when we come back from the break.
Oh, that's what I was going actually with this whole thing, But yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to take my leave. I'm gonna miss you guys, but I'm looking forward to seeing you guys when we come back Tuesday.
Yes.
On Tuesday. So miss you. Like I said, guys, please be safe, be responsible, but enjoy your long weekend. Mine beginning now. So
have a safe trip, friend. See you next week.
Yeah, ain't gonna be not too serious. I'll be back tonight. So I go in now and I'm back in the
I
evening.
have to wish you a safe trip. You're going up in the air.
And I appreciate it big time. So thank you guys. Thank you, Jade. I'm gonna see you guys on Tuesday, but for the rest of the time until 10 o'clock at least, Jade gonna be holding it down. So stay locked, stay tuned, and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN.
It's Horseman's Building Center's Switch On Electrical and Lighting Sales Event happening now until July 31st at Horseman's Building and Nevis Center. Our electricals and lighting departments will be switched on with 25% off. That's right, 25% off electricals and lighting products happening now until July 31st. 25% off on all electricals and lighting products at Horseman's Building Centers on St. Kitts and Nevis. Switch on the deals, switch on the quality products, switch on the savings, and switch on 25% off on all electricals and lighting products today. Horsewood's Building and Nevis Centers. We've got the savings switched on. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back to More Island Tea, guys. Right here on Win Media SKN. My co-host has abandoned me, but I am in great company this morning at least. I have Miss Leah T. Williams. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Yes, joining us this morning via Zoom to talk about her new book, which I will give you guys a little intro into. But Leah, how are you doing? I think you may have your mic muted as still. Is it on? Yes, it should be on. Go ahead. Oh, it is me. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing well. And how are you this beautiful Friday?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking.
Well, it's a pleasure having you, daughter of the soil. Yes, let me give the listeners and viewers a little synopsis. So it says, as born and raised in St. Kitts, a beautiful island in the West Indies, with her family, she resides in Central Florida, where she teaches language arts to her sometimes wonderful, middle schoolers. Neither Out Far Nor In Deep is her first novel. So yes, guys, Leah is an author, and she has wrote yes, we can call it a fiction, right?
Yes, definitely. It's all fiction.
So it's called Neither Out Far Nor In Deep.
Yes.
And can you give the listeners and viewers a little synopsis of this book?
So it's really about a teenage boy who has been having some challenges in the American school system. His single mom is tired of him getting suspended, and the single mom happens to be from St. Kitts. So she takes him home to St. Kitts, leaves him with the grandfather, her father, to be able to, become a better person. She leaves him there and just goes back to America. So once he's there, he thinks that he's not going to be there for a long time, but he ends up spending the time there. And of course, being in St. Kitts, you have no choice but to be a better person. So that's what happens to him as he's there. I think your microphone is off again.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Leah, it says that this is your first novel.
It is.
What influenced you to jump into this avenue?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but teachers don't make much money.
I'm aware. Unfortunately.
So, not only that, I read a lot of books myself, because teaching English, you have to love reading. And one of the things that I realized in reading so many books, I don't see myself being represented in these books. And I wanted to have this opportunity to be able to share my students, because I have a lot of immigrant students, and I don't have books to give them that looks like them. And I wanted to be able to share that with them. Not only that, I wanted to share my island with other people so that they can see. I talk about St. Kitts all the time, so why not have it in the written word? So that's one of the things that influenced me to write this novel.
I really do love that, because a lot of the times we find that although people migrate, they seem to forget or seem to focus more on their current living situation, their current environment. They don't really put on paper the experiences of living on a Caribbean island, a small Caribbean island, and just growing up here. So having that in written form for kids now, this is a book that I can give to my child when he's at that age, and any child living in the Caribbean or the US who has Caribbean descent. I think that parents would really appreciate having this to give to that child.
Yes, that was one of my the things that I thought of, because not only do I have students who are coming from different Caribbean islands, but there's a lot of them who, like me, my son was born here, but I'm not from here. I wasn't born here. So they need to get that experience, especially if they're not able to travel, to be able to physically experience it themselves. They can at least get it from the written word. So that was my goal.
Listen, I think goal accomplished. It's on Amazon, which is a big leap for a lot of authors, sorry. So to give us a little more insight into the book. What has been the feedback? Has anybody told you that they resonate with this book? How is it seeing your words on paper?
Okay, so for me, even saying that I'm an author sounds weird.
But you are.
I'm so used to I write in my journal all the time. That's, no one's reading that. It's not interesting. But to actually physically see something in front of you that's completed. I've written probably 1 million essays. That's not an issue. Because that's fiction, that's fact. That's nonfiction, pardon me. That's nonfiction, it's fact. I have to research to make it happen. But in actually creating a story, getting that out of your head and putting it together so that other people can understand what you're trying to convey, that's a whole other situation. And then the editing process, I think I'm a wordsmith. Sentences, no problem. But when you're writing and then someone else has to read it, you're sharing a part of yourself, first of all. And that's another fear. So you're sharing another part of yourself and hoping that those people like what you're reading. Because then if they don't like it, that's they want to step back for a moment.
Yes.
But you also have to think about not everyone is going to like what you write. And that's okay too. So there's certain things that you just have to think about. Either they like it or they don't. But if you don't put it out, you will never know.
You will definitely never know.
As well.
So,
right. But while you're writing, your mind seems to work faster than your fingers, where you miss certain words. So it's definitely important to have a new set of eyes, a different set of eyes, look at what you're writing. My editor, she is an American woman. And I thought that was important because even though I've written in the accent, it was important for someone who is not used to hearing it to be able to read it and understand it. And then that's when I knew I could publish it and possibly get it out there. Because if someone else who does not understand our accent could read and understand and enjoy the story, then I knew I had something I could sell. So, yeah.
Well, how important is this book, do you feel, to Caribbean kids? As I said, most of the times even at school, we often find given books, but the books, some of them are Caribbean, but majority of the time it's books that aren't written by people who either look like us, sound like us, have the experiences we have. And so here you are now putting that type of experience, even though it's fictional. It is a story that I'm pretty sure that some child out there or some parent out there can resonate with. So why do you think books like these are important to kids?
Well, a lot of kids, my students, if you ask them what they want to be, I want to be a rapper. I want to,
oh, this generation.
They don't like to read. They don't like to, look at words. They don't understand that being a rapper, you have to know what you're rapping about. You have to.
Well, some of them, because we've seen some that, but I digress.
Well, to be a good one, to be an effective one, to be, I'm talking about Nas, I'm talking, someone who can give you real lyrics. You have to have real experiences. So for this book, I think kids will be able to see that, one, if you get into a situation where you've gotten suspended from school, there are possibilities for you to improve your life other than being arrested. The main character of the book is an African American teenage boy where, you know, if something happens, there are not really many choices that they have. Everything's usually negative. I think in my book, you're able to see that he reaches out for help instead of deciding to, you know, I'm just going to keep getting suspended. I'm not going to listen. Being on an island where things are not moving as quickly as normal. They're moving, but we get a chance to stop. Instead of stopping and smelling the roses, we can actually go to the beach and sit and relax. And
indeed, we can.
Right. We can eat natural food. We can actually get organic stuff from our backyard. So, you know, in reading that, I think my students, and some of them have purchased my novel, which has been really, really good.
Kudos to you.
In seeing that, they're able to understand that we don't have to just keep going. There are choices we can make to better our lives. So hopefully they can get that from it. Hopefully they can understand that America is not the only place that exists.
That is also another problem that the American school system has, but
right. So, and another thing with the character in my book is that he has to adapt to the island school system, which is, it's not as easy as the American school system where, for me, in my experience, there seems to be no accountability. I know where I grew up, if you made a mistake, I had to own up to it. There were consequences to my mistakes. Here it doesn't seem to be so much where we're holding kids accountable. So in this experience, the young man gets a chance to sit back and realize, look, the choices I make, there are consequences or rewards. What choices am I going to make to better myself? So hopefully there are a lot of lessons that they can learn. There's a relationship between him and his grandfather. A lot of kids these days, they don't respect the elders.
Oh, they definitely do not.
Right. Whereas we can learn so much from them because they've lived through so many things. And if we sit and listen to them, there's so much we can get from them. So this is something else that's in the book too, where, you know, this teenager learns so much from this older person who is not only, he's not an American, so he does not have the experiences he has, but of course he has more experiences because he's older.
Yes.
But he learns so much in this short experience that he has in the island. So I wanted people to I want people to love St. Kitts like I love St. Kitts.
And listen, there's lots to love here. Lots and lots to love. Something else that I actually appreciate about you creating this book, it's the fact that currently in the school systems, especially kids, they are going through so much trauma, and it's every day it's like they have to deal with not only going to school, but the potential of violence in school. So I think you giving them this little escape through this book to see something else other than turning on their TVs to see other schools having mass shootings and just people doing all manner of evil. I think that's something that every parent could appreciate from this book, especially not being from a Caribbean island, because the kids need an escape. It's tiring.
It is. It's tiring. It's scary to think
I could imagine
could possibly happen. In fact, there's a portion in the book where the main character, his name is Kadim.
Very Kittitian name, by the way.
Exactly. Well, his mother is Kittitian, so he has to have a Caribbean name. But he's getting a tour of the school, and he notices that the doors are not locked, which is something that is not normal in America.
Wow.
Every door is locked in the schools because we are fearful of the unknown. We're fearful of, you know, the potential violence that may come upon us. So he is, of course, not scared, but it's an unusual thing for him because we're laid back because we don't have to fear, thank God. I hope that never happens. We don't have to fear
Same.
someone coming into the school to shoot up anything because
That
the
has
day
never
that
been a thought that has even remotely crossed my mind.
Why?
Living down here, like I've never woken up one day and be like, oh, I need to make sure I am sitting in a position where I could see the door. I need to have an exit route. I don't even I don't even think we have drills down here for those type of situations because we've never had to experience them.
Right.
Let me knock wood because
yes, let me knock it. I hope you never have to because it's not an ideal situation. I know I'm a teacher. I'm not sure if you know that, but I teach.
Yes, and that is where my mind went because you are a teacher living in this
Right.
system.
And that is something that we have to be concerned with. In fact, we have drills very often, and it's not one. It takes away from education because we have to take time to have these drills. But it's just a society that we live in where we're not just going to school to get an education. We now have to learn how to survive while getting this education, which is, it's not healthy. It's not healthy mentally nor physically. So hopefully they'll find an escape in my book and be able to relax again and realize that these things are indeed possible, where we can live in a place where we don't have to have drills every month.
Right.
So that's the hope anyway.
And I don't want to get away from the book, but just how have you been able to deal with this type of chaos as a teacher in this system? I know it cannot be easy because just looking at the news gives me anxiety daily. So how have you been able to deal with this sort of chaotic system that you now have to deal with on a daily basis?
So I've been teaching this is my 16th year.
Wow,
teaching.
Congratulations.
I don't know if it's congratulations.
What?
And it seems to me each year seems to get worse as far as the discipline, the children. I'm not saying that they're all bad because, all people are not bad. That's impossible. But coping with it, I don't know if I would consider myself coping with it. I pray and I ask God for protection, and then I go on with my day. There are times, of course, I feel fearful. The other day I sat in the parking lot and I was actually afraid to go into school.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry to hear that.
And but of course, fear it's a human flaw. So I got over it because I also need to eat and I like to shop. So I had to.
You have to make money. You have to make money somehow.
Right. But as an educator, I believe that I create meaningful relationships with my students so that, God forbid, if they were to come in to my classroom and with a gun, they'd be able to say, okay, Ms. Williams, you can go.
Well, we hope
or I'll be able to say, hey, put the gun down. You're not making any sense. Talk to me. I'll be able to talk him down because now I've developed a relationship with this child so that we don't even get to that stage.
Yeah.
That is my hope. I don't know if it's working, but that is my hope, that I never, ever, or any of my students have to go through anything violent, because it's not a good, no way is a good way to end, but that especially is not a good way to end.
No, and I often think about the lasting traumas that it must leave on any kid in this situation. Even kids just looking at these things, the drills especially. Like I sat down one day and I was on Twitter scrolling. It was after the last mass shooting in Texas, and I was reading some of the drills that the kids have to go through, and I'm like, I can't imagine my little 3-year-old growing up to have to go to school and having to go through these things where you have to be You have to be so mindful that even if you go to the bathroom, you have to know that you have to hide in there because you can't even get back into the classes and stuff. Like, that must traumatize any child.
It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation.
And teachers, because the teachers have to make the decision not to let a child that they teach back into their class.
Yeah, it's true. It's an unfortunate situation, but sadly, it's the reality that we live in today. So when school starts again, we're out of school right now. Just summer school is happening. But when school starts again, the cycle begins again, where we begin the drills. Every student has to know what to do, when to do it. There are codes that we need to react to, and it
seems like a lot. It seems like a lot for teachers who are vastly underpaid and underappreciated.
It's a lot, but your life is also a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's necessary in this climate, but boy.
It's necessary in this climate, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But getting back to your book, where can people find it? Where can people buy it? How can they get their hands on a copy?
So hopefully by sometime this month, there should be some in Law's bookstore.
Oh, nice.
Right. There's another print shop. Gosh, I can't even think of the name, but it should be on island very soon. That's important to me because I need it. I need it in my island. I need it available to my people. I know my dad ordered it from Amazon.
Yes, I do see it on Amazon.
I didn't even know that we can order stuff from Amazon in St. Kitts now.
What? So, how long have you been out?
It's not that I've been. The last time I've been there was just before COVID.
Oh, and yes.
Course, during COVID, we couldn't travel, but
girl, we love a good Amazon down here.
When I'm there, I'm not thinking about buying from Amazon because I'm trying to eat locally. I'm trying to do everything because I know once I return, I'm not going to have anything like that. I won't have access to sea grapes. I won't have access to skinny.
I need some sea grapes in my life.
Exactly. I won't have access to the type of mangoes that you guys have. So when I'm there, I'm not looking for anything that I can find in America because I don't want it.
I mean, why would you? You're here for a short period.
Why would I?
Fully understand. But yes, we do love a good Amazon shopping down here. So people, if you want to grab this book, besides the hard copy that will be in St. Kitts soon, you can go to Amazon and look for Neither Out Far Nor In Deep by Leah T. Williams. There is Kindle and hardcover and paperback.
And iBooks. So it's on iBooks now. So
wow, love it. Yes. And for people who want to follow your journey, your new journey as an author, how can they keep in touch?
So I'm on all the social media is what I call it, the social media. But everything is Kitty Writer 1, KITTI, Writer WRITER 1. My kids ask me, why Kitty Writer? Is that a cat?
They don't understand. They don't understand yet.
So each year I have to explain, that I'm from St. Kitts.
Each year.
I have images of St. Kitts all over my classroom. My flag hangs very high. So I explain that to them every year. So each year of my 16 years of teaching, of about 120 to 130 students, those students have learned about St. Kitts.
You see, this is why we love our sisters of the soil, because they are educating the masses. No longer will people have to say, is St. Kitts in Jamaica? No, they know that St. Kitts is separate and apart.
No, it's not in Jamaica. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying.
I know you get that question far too often.
No, so fortunately, I'm able to, I'm able to reach a lot of young people and, their parents as well. And my accent is very clear. So they have to ask. And most of them who have Caribbean parents, they already know that it's not Trinidad, it's not Jamaica. So now they want to know, well, where is it? So then I explain to them, and I'll show them on the smart screen where it is. And the first question they always ask, well, why did you move here? Because
Well, you know.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. But I do love that opportunity to share my island.
I love how the kids are so confused. Like, why would you want to live here?
Well, it's just I'm not gonna retire here. I don't know what will happen, but it's just people migrate. It's just. But I actually went to Keon High School.
Okay, shout out to Keon High School.
Yes, I went to Lodge Primary School, which is now Violet Petty.
You could, if you had asked me, I couldn't tell you. I still call the schools by their original names.
Right. So it's still, and I went to Keon Primary as well. So because Lodge was, it's not all the grades. So from Lodge to Keon to Keon High School. So I'm literally a daughter of the soil. I'm from Atlas Village. Italian is what they call me because I'm from Italy, which is inside of Atlas. I still have family in St. Kitts. So the Phipps, Colleen Phipps, and Chantel Trotman. My father still lives there. Also Matthew. So I'm very blessed to have grown up in St. Kitts and be able to take what I've learned and what I love and be able to share it with others.
Well, Leah, congratulations once again.
I appreciate it.
And unfortunately, we have to run because we have to jump into some other things. Of course, it was our pleasure. I said our, but my co-host had to leave, unfortunately.
Well, he missed it.
He did. But I'm sure he's listening wherever he is currently. But yes, do have a good day, Leah, and we look forward to seeing what else you come up with, any other books, following your journey. And thank you once again. Have a great day.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
So, guys, we will be taking a very quick break and come back with more Island Tea right here on With Media.
Feel the magic happening. Campari. Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Island Tea, guys, with your fave Azim and myself, Jade. I will be taking over for the next half hour as my co-host had to run, but don't miss him too much. Have no fear because I am here. And we are jumping into another interview with a very special son of the soil, Mr. Issa Kamal. Good morning.
Blessed love and greetings, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I am a lot better than I was last month. I'll say that much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, been a lot going on, but
Yes.
I'm everything that comes my way.
The month of May was very ghetto, so I fully understand. It was very chaotic. I'm so glad it's gone, and hopefully June brings nothing but good things and blessings.
Yeah. As you see, May is still trying to come and interfere with me.
Oh, we're already off to a bad start with you, but hopefully it can redeem itself. So yes, my guest this morning, he is an artist out of St. Kitts, but I will let him give you guys, my listeners and viewers, a little bit of insight on who he is.
Okay, so as soon as I can get this fixed.
It looks fine, by the way.
It does? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you so much. Blessed greetings, everyone. I'm Issa Kamal. A lot of you may know me as Christian KLI Nathaniel. Those are my governments. I do go by Kamal nowadays for, personal and spiritual reasons. I do the artistry things. I've been a trained musician since I'm 2 years old, is what my grandmother tells me. And it's been a really good journey so far. I really still feel like I'm very fresh, especially when it comes to jumping into industry things. Lots of my performances and involvement in music has definitely been through accompanying. I was a church boy. I was the organist for a long, long time, I think. I still do a lot of the organ things, but I'm really launching out in terms of cementing myself as a solo artist, and the journey itself has been complex, yet exciting and just so mesmerizing. I give Jah all kind of praise, you understand?
Well, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
When did you realize that you had an ear or a knack for music?
That's a great question. I don't think that I actually realized it. I think it was kind of a thing. I don't think it was like a moment where it was like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do, because I was born with it. It's been always innate within my soul, and I've always been on a path that has directed me in artistic things. You understand? Every career choice that I've made, every scholastic choice that I've made has been surrounded by music, dance, theater, all aspects of performing arts. And so I think it's just been within me from birth.
Oh, love it, love it. And you said you started in the church?
Yeah, definitely. Like we all do, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of talented young people often start in the church.
I mean, it's somewhat cemented itself as the cornerstone, if I can say so, of our societies, especially in the Caribbean. You understand? And so when your family religiously goes to a particular sanctuary every single week, then you just end up being a part of how that sanctuary goes and how the culture within that sanctuary manifests throughout the years. You understand? I was baptized Moravian. You know, so I was very much stitched within that the culture, religious culture of Moravianism and everything that comes with it. You understand? So
yeah. So while in the church, did it just come naturally for you to play the organ? Was there a push for you to be like, you know what, come on, jump on, let me see if you could do this. We need to fill a spot. How did you get into playing music in the church itself?
Yes, so my first time actually touching the church organ was when, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. My maths are going to be quite off because it's kind of early morning.
Yes, you know. Oh, good morning, sunshine. Love it.
Yeah, I know. It's island tea, right?
You need to have your tea.
all right, but I remember touching the church organ was actually at a youth Sunday service that Michelle Weeks Benjamin, those persons who know will know that she was quite an active person within Zion Moravian. And she was the one that really pushed me to go onto the organ because she saw the talent and she was like, hey, let's just start him off with one of the songs. The first song was All the Way My Savior Leads Me. I would never forget that. And, you know, it was a bittersweet moment because right after that is when there was the whole, you know, the controversy and everything. And then I ended up playing the same hymn at her funeral. So, you know, so I think from there, the eyes had it.
The eyes.
I continued to go as a church organist. Nowadays, I'm not separating myself from the organ. However, I've taken a different path in terms of my own spiritual take on life. You understand? And I do give praise to a creator, you know. I just, for me personally, I cannot jive with the Eurocentric model of Christianity that has been inflicted and indoctrinated within our societies. You understand?
Yeah.
Doesn't jive. And so I very much dived into a lot of ethnological research and things in terms of, you know, it's a very good path right now. I'm just very excited to see how life continues to go.
Well, let's talk about that. How did you make your transition from the church into your own style? By the way, what style of music do you resonate with the most?
Oh, baby girl, I do everything.
Oh, excuse me.
Very much cemented within, of course, cultural genres, reggae, dancehall, and Afrocentric beats and stuff like that. I'm classically trained, and so that tends to get into the art, and a lot of the things that I do create is a very interesting thing, because at one point when I first moved to New York, I was like, okay, I need to just get away from the classical because it's just been I've been training since I was 6, you understand, at long school. So I just needed to get away from the classical for a while. And then recently, as of, I would say like last year, summer, it really hit me that perhaps this classical thing will prove very good to me in terms of really creating my own style. And in terms of creating my own style, it's still being created.
You're
always
still fresh. Yeah.
It's always a process of creating and learning, and you know, I'm very excited to just see where the creator with the Most High really takes me from here.
So you did you make the move because of career reasons? Is it because you realize that making this sort of move can give you more opportunities music-wise?
So before I answer that, I do want to point out that, because I know it could get kind of controversial in the airwaves.
Oh, Lord.
I am not against any religion. Let me put that first.
Oh, no, that's not what I gathered, but I'm happy you clarified because, you know, the girls, they...
Yeah, I believe that everybody needs a respectful space, and I respect everybody's belief and doctrine, you understand? It's just certain things don't fit with my lifestyle in this moment. That's the only thing. So with that said, you asked why did you think they made the jump because of industry things? I don't think it was because of industry things. I think it's because my spirit really was drawn to a different sound, a different path. And I know we go through a lot of growing pains in life, and I just feel like at this moment, this is how my spirit feels comfortable. I'm all for people feeling comfortable in the moment.
As they should, so, yes.
Exactly. You understand? What you thought at 15 was not what you thought at 5, and will not be what you think at 25.
Hopefully.
Because we're on a consistent elevation through life. A consistent elevation. And what we should be, instead of saying, you know, oh, this person's changed and this person has, differed, and we can't even recognize how this person, blah, 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 blah. I believe that we should be focusing on how they're evolving through life and encourage that if it makes them feel comfortable.
I agree, especially if they're not doing anything to harm themselves or others. Like, I don't see a problem with somebody evolving or becoming their better self, what they deem is their better self, and just getting from one space to another. I feel like that's what life is about, evolving and changing and consistently finding yourself.
Exactly. And I think that is what deters a lot of our youngsters nowadays, Jade. I think a lot of young people are somewhat timid to explore different levels, different
different. No, I agree with that. They're afraid to make that step because they don't want to be seen as, oh, well, this isn't what I was taught, or, oh, this is what my family believes in, so I have to stick to it, or, oh, this is how society is going to look at me. Like, that fear often hinders growth in a lot of young people, and they aren't able to get to the next level just because they think, well, if I do this, what will people think? And I think that type of mentality should be done away with, because you, at the end of the day, you have to live for yourself.
Forthright. You understand? Like, it needs to be, who I do give props to, though? I give props to these Gen Z folks, because the Gen Z folks...
they don't care. They don't care. This new batch of people? Oh, they don't care.
Let me tell you, Jade, listen, I was a music teacher when I was home as well. I taught at Bastille High before I came to New York. And it was just mesmerizing. My favorite part about teaching was the children. Not so much the children. Yeah, it's just because they come with such great ideas on not only their curriculum, but on how the country can move forward, how we can, initiate certain programs that would help progress our country to really be a formidable nation in this world that we're in. And it's just amazing the things that they come up with. And I mean, sometimes they do it in a very joking manner to us, but I think it's so insightful how their minds think so far. I'm saying they, but apparently, according to the research, I'm like on the cusp.
You're close.
Yeah, but I really think it's time for us to stop berating and start encouraging, because we cannot have a successful future as a country, especially in the climate that we're in. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Listen, this is the show to speak your mind, If there would ever be a platform to speak your mind, this is it.
I have seen how it gets when people start to speak their mind, especially here. You understand? I was sending on a broadcast earlier today, and the first thing somebody told me was, speak about your predictions and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait.
Predictions? Well, you ain't tell me a whole genie now. How you having predictions?
How I having predictions either? It's something that I do. I love her though. She's my good friend. But yeah, it's just about really continuing to elevate the youngsters, and that's always been one of my life missions. You understand? Apart from, establishing my own career path and diving more into the art and how it affects my artistry and creativity, I also want to be able to, inspire another youngster who may feel timid because of the environment that they're in and may not have the same privileges as a lot of other persons to somewhat get out of that environment. You understand?
Yes. So let's get back to your career. Where are you now in your career? What new things can we expect from you? Is there a single that we can look forward to? Are you working on a little EP? What are you giving us?
Your hosts are dangerous.
I rebuke that.
So I just finished a semester in school. Right now I'm studying for my baccalaureate in music. And I mean, it's titled music performance. However, there's so much that goes into it. We learn about the history throughout music, we learn, well, music and its development. We learn about the appreciation of music. We learn about how it affects the societies and the culture that we're in. So like music physics and music psychology and all those different things. I think my favorite course so far has been ethnomusicology for all those
Oh,
reasons.
well, what does that mean?
Ethnomusicology is the study of cultures through their musical traditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
what little tidbit can you give us from that course so far? What have you learned?
The world is a lot more larger than we think.
Yes.
We could dive from that. You know, there's been so many artists that don't get mainstream play that have made such an impact in our society. The last person I really studied on was this guy named Ayub from Kenya.
Okay.
From Kenya. He recently died like a few years ago, but he was so instrumental in establishing Afrocentricity within a Euro-centric music climate, and especially during a time when we're going through racism and all these different aspects. You know, a lot of political things going on in the society, and these are just so many musical stalwarts that have been coming up in the society. There's something called a mouth organ in like Southeast Asia.
Okay.
It was originally made from bamboo, and it really it's a very interesting sound. I think you have to just get used to it. You know? Yeah, there's just so many different aspects to our world that we don't see, especially on the western side of the world. Because all we see is American culture.
Unfortunately, that is all we consume day in, day out. So our minds can't fathom that there are other things beside rappers and R&B. I mean, and no offense, because we know, we love a good rap or a good sad love song, but there are so many other aspects to music that we don't get to experience, or we refuse to experience because we don't understand, we're not exposed enough to it, we're not educated. So I'm happy to hear that you are actually taking that step to do the research and figure out what else is out there besides these sounds that we are so accustomed to.
Exactly, and it's been so mesmerizing. I'm looking forward to really coming back home and sharing a lot of this. We just a new series. It's called the Vision series back in March. That was a push from the Methodist Men's Commission to Eustace Warner, who I really have to give a big highlight and shout out to. He was our major sponsor for the event, and really, really kudos to him. What we did is that we dived into foundational music theory and all those different things through performance in a sense, immersive experience, and we got a really good turnout. You know, we had an overflowing church. We had it in Methodist Church on Seaton Street. At an overflowing church, and we did the church because there's an organ in there.
Yes.
And there's a special request to build an orchestra around the organ. And so there were so many beautiful musicians that came on. I really do appreciate all of them. And, you know, we're coming back this summer to really dive more into that. So I'm looking forward to doing that and having that be the premise to introduce persons to the diverse world of music past what we just hear on mainstream. You understand?
Yes. So again, because I realized you didn't answer my question, you know. Don't feel like because you said all these nice things, I forgot the question I asked because I did not.
I mean, okay, I think I remembered. There is definitely a project coming along because when I came back to say, I normally jump between New York and St. Kitts quite often. And when I was in St. Kitts back in January through March, I did work on this really amazing project. It's
I mean, you could. I feel okay. I'm sensing that you can't really speak directly to it as yet. But yes or no, can we look forward to something soon?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need. That is all I need.
As soon as November.
Okay. Right. November. That's soon. That is very soon.
It's soon. You understand? I'm really excited because I'm doing the research to really trying to cement a lot of trying to dot my I's and cross my T's, basically, you understand? So like we said earlier, it's so complex industry things. So, and a lot of the creations that I want to move forward with, I really want to involve our Kitty Vision creatives because we have a wealth of talent.
We do.
68 square miles, 32 on Nevis, right?
You were the teacher here.
No. But yeah, it's all encompassing within the square miles we have in the Federation. And I believe that we have such a wealth that it can be exported and really marketed throughout the world. And it's really time we're in a very poised position, not only as St. Kitts and Nevis, but as Caribbean nations.
I agree.
And influence the music scene on a global
scale
level.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I definitely agree. And Miss Carlo, who is celebrating today, happy birthday to you again, said to tell you hi and congrats.
Oh, blessed love to you, blessed earth strong Miss Carla, you understand?
Yes. Yes. But I love it. I love the sense that I'm getting, because most artists seem to want to fit into one little box. And that is very boring and played out. Like, we've seen it time and time and time. So somebody who's coming with something new like that re-energizes our faith in our music industry.
Indeed, and I'm really excited to introduce it. You know, back at the Vision series, what we did is a lot of fusion. So it wasn't just us playing consistent Beethoven and Mozart and all those people. You know, that. No, it was like a mix of Mozart with mention.
Okay.
And yeah. It was.
Wait. Where can, what's the stream? Then where can I go back and look at this? Because Mozart had mentioned.
Yeah. It was a very beautiful occasion. Right now, we are actually finishing up the edits for public release.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
I'm very excited, and I'm props to Bijan. You understand, Bijan, the chief, always, for making sure the connections happen.
Yes, but Kamal, we have to go because it's literally 5 minutes to the hour. But before we do, tell people where they can follow your journey, where they can keep in contact with you and see all the good music that you have for us, all the things that you're about to put out and teach the masses.
Definitely. Well, I's Issa Kamal, and every time you come, it's more than a performance, it's an experience. You can find me at We Love Issa Kamal on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I just started TikTok the other day.
Excuse me. You have to keep up with the Gen Zs and, they're over there, so you have to go over there too.
One more time, at We Love Issa Kamal, that's WeLoveIssakamal on most social media platforms.
Love it. Well, Kamal, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure. Thank you for keeping my company because my co-host had to leave. So I know.
Oh.
The Rasta man is missing. It's supposed to be 3 Rasta men right now, but it's only 2. So. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually being in the studio physically one time.
Yes, of course. You're welcome anytime.
Thanks. Lovely.
Yes.
All right, well, Empress.
Bye. Have a great day.
Right. You take care, though.
Yes, guys, that was it from Island Tea today. We hope you had a great time with us. We had a great time with you guys. It is a weekend and a long one at that. So please, we want to see all our faves returning on Tuesday safely. We don't want any incidents. Guys, drive safely, drink responsibly. I can't tell y'all not to drink because that would be ridiculous, honestly. With the weekend y'all about to have. Cannot say that. So guys, please, yes, drink responsibly. Designated drivers do exist. There are plenty Ubers and buses if you guys feel like you cannot function under your alcohol. Do not drive. Figure it out. We do not want any casualties. We do not want to hear any tragedies this weekend. But we want you to have fun, get some rest, where and if you can, spend time with your families and your loved ones and your friends. They are important and they should be able to get some of your good time. But yes, I gotta go. I have things to do. I'm sure you do too. But stick and stay to Win FM. We have lots happening today. Right after my show, as usual, since today is Friday, we have Miss Sandra with Your View. Hot show that is, a little spicy every time. Then we have Voices, of course. And then later this afternoon, we have nothing but good music left for you guys. We have DJ Flames, we have DJ Jed Sounds, and rounding out the night, we have DJ Rabuka. So stick and stay to Win FM. You don't know what you will get over here. But I gotta go. So as my lovely, as my lovely co-host usually says, spend time living your content. Spend more time living your content than posting it. Learn from the mistakes of others. You do not have to go through everything to figure it out. Sometimes you just have to look on your left or your right, look at your friend, your family's experiences, and realize, maybe I shouldn't do this because that was their outcome. And of course, most importantly, to remember this weekend, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you guys next week.